Rockstar 2800 is pushed out of the Marathon Burger grand opening on the Melrose app by Blacc Sam, Nipsey Hussle's brother. Blacc Sam is standing on business. Listen. And Nipsey is up there, staring down like that's my big brother, and I know it. Stay away from here. You know what? Do something and then return. Leave now and return later. Bro, that's what I said. Go get it at the speed of a marathon is another name for N. Hustle, moving slowly down the line in search of tranquility. Yes. Do you get that? Always. Snoop Dogg criticized Big U for the purported Nipsey setup just minutes after Blacc Sam did. Was I? In his face all of a sudden. People also insist that this was not a chance meeting. Sam has been calling out to Snoop, who has reportedly been floating in the same circle. And that's precisely why people in Los Angeles are reading between the lines of this pull-up outside, where those circles serve as political battlegrounds in addition to being social gathering places. If you choose the incorrect side, you could be permanently barred. Whispers have entangled Big U's name for years about Nipsey's last days. Therefore, the entire room froze when Sam finally stated it out, and Snoop immediately followed. That in-person encounter between Snoop and Sam might be the most obvious indication yet that something in the shadows, something deeper is simmering. Snoop's embrace of Blacc Sam didn't feel like a warm West Coast embrace. Everyone who was observing immediately saw that he was entering hostile territory. This warmth didn't appear suddenly either. Sam was in the spotlight at Marathon Burger's grand opening just a few weeks prior. Furthermore, he wasn't there merely to pose for pictures. He is seen confronting West in a demonstration video. Rockstar 280 is a rapper from Coast. Not merely examining him, but firmly pressuring him. That contempt, telling him bluntly, "You don't belong here if you're not working hard to defend Nipsey's name." And this is where it becomes quite disorganized. The rapper Rockstar 2800 is not your average person. He has a close relationship with Wack 100, who has been one of Nip's harshest and most vocal detractors from the day he died. Wax has been confined, a protracted, unpleasant verbal altercation with Nipsey's group, making it his personal goal to undermine Nip's public credibility. He told me that Blacc Sam, Nip's brother, is a rat. They fall out for the first time. When they first signed Nipsey, he returned. There was a fallout. They fell. A battle broke out. There was a rumble. I think Nipsey was knocked out by Big H Dark Sam, emerges and shoots 3 or 4 times into the air. He just got out of prison. Police officers are seated directly across the street. They observe it. They enter. Everyone is arrested. Blacc Sam has a parole status. Big U tells us that we should bail him out. The police inform him. Before Blacc Sam received bail, they released him. This is that fresh-out gunfire shouldn't occur, in that manner. He tells him to leave him alone because that's what ours is. I have therefore been viewing him as a rat for all these years. Additionally, Sam has never tolerated that. However, this is the thread that most people overlook. With Big U, Wack 100 is tight. Big U's name simply keeps coming up in all the rumors surrounding Nipsey's last days. I have affection for Nip. I have affection for the family. My heart isn't filled with hate. I have absolutely no animosity in my heart. My heart is pure. You get it? Even now, I still have feelings for them. It is merely a phone call. We couldn't speak. Yes. Would you like my fade? Yes. How did it happen? Yes. You are aware of what I am saying? Because it seemed like it was paid for out of pocket. However, we may shake hands or whatever else after that, or we will never be able to speak again. But whatever it is, it must be, it must be. Do you understand what I mean? Leave it at that then. However, as I have stated, I have no hatred in my heart. I won't mention anything negative. This Big U was formerly a mentor to Nipsey at a young age, but also had a long, complex, and occasionally antagonistic relationship with him. How are you, sweetheart? The huge homie, man. Indeed, sir. TV personality, neighborhood star. Man, hurry up. Up here, you look good. Imagine it then. If Rockstar isn't out here promoting hustle, Sam tells him to get lost. Rockstar had no intention of remaining silent while taking that. I'm not saying, hey, we're checking in, baby, around Big U. The check-in is real, man. You had better check in when you get on the road. Hold on. Look, that's absolutely true. It's not just about him, though. There is a profound link to WAC 100. Wax has been rolling for years with Big U. Snoop's name has also been seen floating in that same orbit, whether you like it or not. I have the utmost regard for Chicago when I visit. I check in. My plan is to check in when I visit Atlanta. I check in wherever I go. Furthermore, I don't believe anyone is safe. At the moment, I know guys from LA who are real gang members who have had their jewelry stolen. Who are the actual murderers? For example, who are the actual murderers? When I first came home, Sam and I weren't on the same page, so Snoop even talked on the check-in system. The apparent. Do you understand? After that, we sat down and yelled. However, I had seen several people before I had met Sam, and they might have told me that. You receive what am I saying? After that, many people didn't. They were therefore playing both sides. Hold on. Something must have happened. You were at Complex Con, weren't you? Yes? You encountered Blacc Sam and several others nearby. Yes? And they came over to you. Well, I went up to them. You went up to them? Yes. I proceeded to the all money and something. Sam and I got into a little argument very quickly. Was it because of something, really? Yes, I did say over the obvious for that reason. Big U is renowned for his vocals about. Big U stated it in his own words. For this reason, Snoop and Sam found themselves in the same room. It was more than a casual encounter. At this point, Sam allowed his presence to do all the work. The conversation. There, people reported feeling the static in the air. Just two men standing on opposite ends of the same lengthy, twisted history. No shouting, no scene. There was no altercation between us, and we exploded or whatever. I was not going someplace, no. Big bro, how did that talk go? We need to work it out. He came from a region where he didn't understand, such as not understanding, ignoring some things, such as placing me in a situation, I'm not in just because you're upset. Understand what I mean? And you're holding me accountable for another man's behavior, even though I can't tell him how to grieve. Above all, I was incarcerated. You are aware of my love for your brother? What about this? That's how it was when we were fighting and Nipsey's father saw who he was fighting, dude. What on earth are you doing? Similar to this, your brother. For example, what are you all fighting for? He was not even able to comprehend. This is where the twist lies. Sam has already had to put his feet up in public before. He has already questioned Brick Baby about his relationship to Nipsey's killer, Eric Holder. Brick Baby acknowledged Nips. Their own father had to intervene to prevent them from flinging their hands. Sam has made it plain that he will not tolerate disrespect by attacking anyone who attempted to minimize Nip's name in interviews. Here's the burn now. Big U continues to retain Snoop in his inner group, and WAC remains close to him. Sam therefore saw Snoop's pull-up as more than just a case of bad timing. It served as a public reminder of the crew he has been urging. At that point, this became a direct declaration rather than a celebrity sighting. Sam is demonstrating to everyone that loyalty is demonstrated by actions rather than words. My little homeboy is that he grew up with us, in the same area that I first came out. I heard his songs while I was away for around 2 years, and after listening to his song, I kind of liked it. However, I had the impression that he might be the one to advance us both. I then yelled at him. To get LT Hutton on the Tupac song, got in touch with him. On that, Tup showed us love. He performed Tupac alongside L.A. Dre. That took off. Then we returned and collapsed, gave us some affection with bullets who don't have a name. After that, we essentially simply worked on the streets. And you're immediately on if you support those who opposed his brother, the incorrect side. Here's the worst part, though. You have to go back decades in addition to Nipsey's period to truly understand why the stare-down was so significant. Since this is nothing new, some claim that we observed the same pattern, while Tupac was on death row. And you know who was in the center of both tales? Snoop. You see, there was no animosity between Big U and Nipsey at first. Not at all. Give your mother a call. Where are you from? Big U, a well-respected rolling 60s figure who had just returned from prison in the mid-2000s, was instrumental in giving Nip his first serious chance. Early verses, music video pushes, and well-known industry connections are all on the table. Big U even assisted in getting Nipsey to appear on Tupac's infamous album, Pac's Life, at one point. A maneuver that made Nip famous throughout Los Angeles before most even people outside the city were familiar with his name. However, that gleam was short-lived. During the death row bad boy dispute, they attempted to make me dislike Puffy and Biggie, and I decided that I didn't have any problems with them because I saw values. That Angie Martinez interview back in the day caused a lot of friction between death row and me. That's right, because I stated I'd perform a song when you said I didn't have any problems. With them, I would like to perform a song. I finished there. I don't have any problems with Puffy and Biggie, I said. With them, I would like to perform a song. New York in the midst of the conflict. Hot 97 in New York. How come you said that? Because I felt that way. Later on, Nipsey disclosed that his deal with Big U's label was a straight-up lock. A 10-year production agreement that runs from 2009 until 2019, in the year when Nipsey was slain. Walking away from an agreement is more than just paperwork in LA street politics, but Nipsey wanted out. It's a respect issue. It simply doesn't make sense. It's not arbitrary. I'm not a hustler, you know. No one is going to say something outrageous to hustling because they are aware of the consequences. There's nothing insane about hustling, regardless of age. No matter where you find them, you're absolutely not saying anything out of the ordinary if you're crushing on Slauson. You're going to act modest and tuck your tail. If not, you will be physically assaulted. You've done it countless times, worked hard and completed it numerous times. I can infer all I need to know from the fact that he left. At that point, the situation began to feel more like a personal conflict than a corporate one. Many people think that Nipsey's diss tune, "You Don't Got a Clue," was directed at pointing the finger at Big U and denouncing those attempting to manage his career. Then it became physical. I probably could have prevented it. What do you mean by stop? After speaking with Nip, I said, "Yeah, I love you because of," or something similar. That. "I'll talk to you later," or something. I ended the call. I believed Big U provided inaccurate information. After half an hour, the guys are blowing me up like they simply wait. Big U calls and tells you that Nipsey just got Y. You call Nip in a panic. Nip responded to the telephone. Yes. You are aware that you enjoy regular conversation. Ultimately, I didn't give it much thought because you didn't even alert him that you had Duke's call. According to a number of sources, including Loose Cannon and Whack 100, Big U challenged Nip to a fight, and Blacc Sam fired rounds into the air to halt it. Sam and Big U were on opposite sides from that point on. Not just apart. Sides for good. The worst part is still to come. Snoop continued to appear next to Big U despite being aware of all this history, which Sam finds extremely familiar. Snoop has stood shoulder to shoulder with him, with those with whom his allies had previously been at odds, back in time to the Tupac era. Loyalty lines were extremely clear in the 90s, when Pac was involved in the East Coast versus West Coast conflict. You were either beside or in opposition to Pac. However, After hitting him up and saying all those bad boy things, Snoop made this statement on a radio station in New York. Even Napoleon of the Outlaws has admitted that Snoop used to silently smile in Pac's face, moving with the same individuals that the Pac was targeting. In retrospect, many fans are beginning to notice that same spirit in the entire Nipsey incident. Nipsey's murder was anything but random, if you listen to some of the voices in the streets of Los Angeles. Sam himself implied in a Big Boy interview that Nip's killer, Eric Holder, was sent because he was meant to do a job. Loose Cannon, who was later mentioned in court documents as a participant in Big U's purported extortion scheme, even asserted that Big U informed him that Nipsey had passed away beforehand. He claims that Nipsey answered the phone alive when he called him immediately, after Big U informed him. After half an hour, Nipsey had left. The timeline doesn't just increase eyebrows, it completely rewrites the narrative. And it's not just poor optics if you're Sam and you see Snoop still standing shoulder to shoulder with Big U, as he used to do when he was standing with guys who the Pac was at odds with. That is the real-time reenactment of history. However, Snoop and Blacc Sam's animosity hasn't decreased. It's entangled with something far larger and dispersed. The federal old street debts, indictments, and a power struggle that has been going on for decades. First, let's talk about the paperwork that no one wants to discuss. The feds covertly released a multi-layered criminal complaint in February 2025 against Big U. On paper, gang tax collections, property shakedowns, and extortion. The murmurs claim it's even deeper off paper. The rap culture in Los Angeles is said to be dominated by this same network, which also purportedly chooses who gets eliminated before they can blow. Big U isn't the only one facing criticism. Brick Baby was also charged with possession, conspiracy, and suspected cleanup work for the same network after that allegation was dropped. Now, this is where Snoop returns. Even after Nipsey's passing, he is seen alongside Big U and Brick Baby in old pictures and event footage. However, his name isn't on the documents yet. The most terrifying aspect is a theory that is weighing heavily. Some OGs are looking directly at Fed time as part of the current West Coast power shuffle. The same network that has been controlling the LA rap industry for years, choosing who receives attention and who is cut off before they can take it. And the chessboard is moving quickly now that Big U is under Fed pressure. According to insiders, some West Coast originals are vying for positions as a result of the void these indictments have created. This isn't street politics, that's all. It's about managing the scene's financial flow, live performances, features, and business pipelines. Who eats and who starves is up to you once you have authority over all of that. For Snoop, this is where everything starts to go sideways. He is still seen at events with people connected to these indictments, despite the fact that his name is not on any documents. Both new sightings and old footage have become discussion themes in the streets, with people questioning if he is being faithful to the wrong side or simply staying near enough to the authority to never be excluded. Furthermore, this is not paranoia. These moves are being watched by the feds. According to a number of sources, they have already begun creating timelines, tracking down money trails, and mapping out everyone's links. They're not merely trying to eliminate the players, if the rumors are accurate. They want to destroy the whole network that has been carrying West Coast rap game behind the scenes for many years. And it won't be just about Snoop if he does end up in the Fed limelight. Decades of West Coast history will be brought to light by it. We are conversing names, partnerships, and actions that were never intended to be documented. The true danger here, according to homeless veterans, is that the feds don't just yank one thread once they get their hooks in, they disentangle the whole cloth. According to several insiders, that's precisely why the current power struggle feels so tight. Some of the originals are already quietly leaving, severing connections, and hiding money. Others are displaying their faces and doubling down, ensuring that they are still regarded as players at events, as well as Snoop. Every action he does is being examined. From vintage pictures of Big U and Brick Baby to current sightings of characters who are now on federal surveillance. All of this only validates what Sam has been stating. Being loyal isn't about grinning for the camera. When things turn ugly, it's about who you're willing to stand by. And he believes that Snoop is constantly in the explosion zone as a result of his decisions. The true question is whether Snoop can escape unharmed if this shuffle escalates into a full-fledged takedown, or if history will eventually catch up with him in the same manner that did. What about all the other people who have been too near to the flames? There is a void at the moment, and whoever secures the proper power players now might dominate label deals, tours, and streaming revenue for the ensuing 10 years. If the game is that, Snoop isn't merely maintaining order then. Even though he is on the other side of those who are still battling to preserve Nip's legacy, he is establishing his place at the table. And it's no longer just street talk. Writers, Snoop may not be the protagonist in Nipsey's story, but rather a cog in the machine that ensured some facts were never revealed, according to podcasters and former industry insiders who are piecing together old images, interviews, and quiet fallouts. The marathon camp, meantime, hasn't budged. Sam has stated publicly, "Certain people can't come over here." Many people assume that this statement is directed specifically towards Snoop continues to stand with the same circle. Additionally, each time Snoop appears next to, those faces resemble gasoline being poured on a blaze that has been burning for years. Comment, share, subscribe, and similar to this video. The following chapter is It's Writing Itself Already.